Hello everybody, this is AG here and welcome to the North Wilkesboro Speedway in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. We are here to qualify for race 15 of the season in the 2025 Wawa Cup Series, the Brandt 400, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time right here on AG, the channel, part of Indy 250 Week. Leading up to this weekend and Indy 250 qualifications, the Wawa Cup Series makes its third ever stop here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway, and we are excited for this race. This is going to be a lot of fun here because we're bringing back that same tire that we had last year. Very, very high tire degradation here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway, about a 4-second fall off, and I know that sounds a little ridiculous, but the racing that we get here because of it is very intriguing and very fascinating, and Nicholas Samedeo was very appreciative of what we did with the tire last year as he went on the victory lane in this Brandt 400 a year ago, his only Wawa Cup Series race victory up to this point. But qualifying here, and of course Uncharted qualifying, the top 5 advance on to the race, and then the highest hot seat driver as well, if the hot seat driver, or a hot seat driver I should say, is already in the top 5, then the 6th place driver advances on into the race. Our hot seaters for this weekend include Nicholas Cameron attempting his first ever Wawa Cup Series start driving for Racing Motorsports in the 42 machine. We have Trey Wright in the number 90 there for Appalachia Motorsports. Look for some of our other Uncharted drivers here. 91 machine, that's Rashia Mahendra. They made their first start in the Wawa Cup Series at Texas 2 weeks ago. And then Alexander Rowe was in the number 14 for the Grattan Autosport team, and that is not good for Carson Miller. He didn't even get off of his pit stall and the engine expired. 7.94, that isn't good, and he's got to get back out there and get a time in. What we're going to see in this session, and in Group A, Group B as well, the tire wear is very significant here, so much to the fact that we're going to see significant tire wear in qualifying, so you need to get your good time in right away. If you don't do so, you're not going to have an opportunity at being in the show. Dylan Matthews was runner-up in this race 2 years ago when Chase Buck won, and she has found herself in a position right now. Well, it's got taken away from her there as you got the 96 machine there up in the 3rd. Nicholas Cameron is the fastest in the 42 right now. How about that in his first time in a Cup car? And then you got the 90 of Trey Wright running 2nd. Jared Martin, Zane Davidson, Aaron Lukes, and Eric Monaco, currently the 6 drivers who would race their way in here from this Uncharted qualifying session. And Zane Davidson has gone to the top of the board in the 00. No surprise there, is the highest of the Uncharted drivers in the standings. And he's had a very, very solid season in that 00, all things considered. There's Darian Arnsdorf, who's been the 2nd best. Actually, Carson Miller is actually ahead of Arnsdorf in the points, ironically enough. Because Miller has actually made more starts than any of the Uncharted drivers this season. He's been 10 of 14 in that 40 machine, but if he doesn't get out there, he's not going to have a shot. Jared Martin has just gone the 2nd right there, and now it's Aaron Lukes on the bubble because Haley Anderson Jr. just went to 2nd in the number 92. Great lap out of Haley Anderson Jr. and Pacific Racing. Of course, Pacific won this race 2 years ago. They tend to have a lot more success on the short tracks. See if that ends up holding for Haley Anderson Jr. right there. Arnsdorf back up to 2nd in the 11 machine. And no surprise to see the Grattan car have a lot of speed here tonight. Nicholas Cameron, of course, as we have mentioned quite a few times, we have yet to fall on the hot seat provisional at any point this season in this Uncharted session. Will we finally have to fall back on it here tonight? Nicholas Cameron dropping there in the standings. If we get Carson Miller out there to get a lap in here, as long as he gets his lap started in time, he's going to have an opportunity at it, but no, I mean, he'll get 1 lap in, but I don't know if 1 lap's going to do it. You may want it on the 2nd lap. I don't think we're going to see any of these other guys really improve their times at this point, so it's going to come down to the 50 machine, and then on top of that, because you have all these other guys who have tire wear, they are going to be at a disadvantage, and Carson Miller's going to be at a disadvantage trying to get around them. If he crosses the line next time by before the time runs out here, he'll get a 2nd lap in. Alexander Rowe has just gone to 6th to take the last spot away from Aaron Lukes. But Carson Miller has an opportunity right here with this lap. He's wound it up enough. He crossed the line before time ran out. So will he have enough speed in this car to make it into the show. We'll see what his time is across the line. Carson Miller is not going to improve his time enough. And it looks like it's going to be Zayden Davidson, Darian Arnsdorf, Haley Anderson Jr., Jared Martin, Nicholas Cameron, and Alexander Rowe in the Brandt 400 here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. A lot of usual cast of characters, but they're missing that 50 machine of Carson Miller. Davidson, Jared Martin, and Darian Arnsdorf have made a lot of these races along with Carson Miller so far this season. Miller's going to miss this one. Zayden Davidson is in the show along with Arnsdorf, Anderson Jr., Jared Martin, Nicholas Cameron, and Alexander Rowe. Aaron Lukes, Eric Monaco, Trey Wright, Dylan Matthews, Rashia Mahendra, J.R. Ribbleton, Carson Miller, and Johnson Jameson all failed to qualify for the Brandt 400. All right, let's get on to Group A and talk about these points because it's getting interesting in this championship battle and the run to the chase. Let's go ahead and get to Group A here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. All right, here we go. Group A from the North Wilkesboro Speedway here in the Brandt 400. And I mentioned that points battle. Well, here's what I noticed, and I didn't really pick up on this when we did the points last week at Kansas. We got ourselves the last three guys currently in the chase all tied. Bryce Egan, Blaine Keys, and Duncan Ward all tied, all 5 points ahead of the cutoff. And we got ourselves 8 races left to go, including this one, until the cutoff, the end of June. But I tell you, it's going to be very close. And Daniel Paulus Jr. winning last week, and again it happened. Philip Torrey's blowing an engine off the pit lane. That happened to Carson Miller, and it just happened to Philip Torrey's. That's a 614. Not that that means anything, but that is not how it's done. But Paulus winning at Kansas, that definitely shakes up the wild card, which Paulus is only 1 point behind Andrew Miller and only 8 points behind Jack Haas currently. But then all those guys can shove their way into the top 10, and guys like Duncan Ward and even Isaac Nichols, who are only 5 and 6 points behind, or ahead of the cutoff respectively, they got to be careful not to fall below and have to fall back on that wild card. The wild card battle is such a diverse and dynamic battle for those last 2 spots into the chase, and there are a lot of good drivers, and you can't count out Nathan Smith, Thomas Troxel back in there as well as being very strong contenders for it. Well, here is a strong contender for this race, and it's not been a good season for Nicholas. 21st in the point standings coming into this one, but he is the defending winner of the Brandt 400 in the Brandt car. He's currently fastest here in Group A, and he improved on his time right there at a 5:02. This racetrack really suits his style, and the high tire wear also suits his style as well. And I have a good feeling about Nicholas this weekend here in North Wilkesboro Speedway. I have a good feeling about him this weekend in general. We head over to Indy as well. And going to be qualifying for the Indy 250 on Saturday. And Sunday we'll see if Nicholas can make it into the Fast 9, or will he be in the last 9? We don't know yet. That's going to be very interesting to see how it all ends up shaking out over the weekend. We're excited for Indy 250 qualifying. Hey, first practice, the main practice session. We had our first practice yesterday. Our main practice session is tomorrow evening before we get this race running. Thomas Troxel's now second quickest, while Haley Anderson Jr. is now second quickest. And I told you that Pacific Racing is very strong on the short tracks. Well, you know it's good when their uncharted driver is second overall. And Anderson hasn't had much of a run in this series at all. She is 42nd in points, 5 starts, but when she is in these races, she doesn't finish half bad. An average finish of 22.4 in those 5 races. She's with a good team, and I think as the season rolls along, I think Anderson Jr. is going to qualify in more races simply due to the fact that she's on one of the better teams that we have. And a really good lap time out of Haley Anderson Jr. right there, but it's still Nicholas Samadeo. How about Logan Williams up to 3rd? And how about Appalachian Motorsports, both of their drivers top 3? Usually one does good and the other doesn't. Right now they're both up there. Paulus is 5th right now in the 54 machine. Last week's winner at Kansas. A great run for Paulus, only the 2nd driver of the season to win multiple races. And of course a very big battle for him in that wildcard race. Logan Williams just went to the top of the board and just posted the fastest lap of the night so far in that 95 machine. Appalachia Motorsports, and this is almost like a home race for this team as well. I mean, Bristol kind of is too, and you know, this whole area, this is Appalachia, and they're close to it at least in Western North Carolina. And Logan Williams definitely looking very strong here in this number 95. How about Jack Haas go on the second, and Sam Adeo now on the bubble to make it in, with Paulus in fourth. Haley Anderson is fifth. Am Thomas Trotman now. Isaac Nichols in the sixth position. Remember what Jack Haas did at the end of last year's race here at North Wilkesboro. And though he had no contention of winning because he was multiple laps down, he actually took tires late in the run, and he was whizzing by everyone because of those worn tires. And that's going to make this race so fascinating because these guys are going to fall off by 4 seconds before they come down the pit lane. Isaac Nichols is going to knock Sam Adeo out of the top 3. Great run for Isaac in the 6 machine, so the lone GRT car in the Fast 6 right now. They had a very good run in qualifying last week, but Isaac Nichols looking strong here in the 6 for Parker Davis Enterprises. And we'll see how these guys, especially the GRT cars, really take to that tire strategy. I think some teams have a better strategy than others when it comes to tire management. I think some drivers are better at it than others. I think Nicholas is one of the best at it because he won the winter showdown at IRP on that same tire, essentially, and won that race on strategy as well. Though that's not an official points-paying win in the Wawa Cup Series. But Nicholas is definitely a guy who I know we are waiting to finally get to victory lane here. We'll see if he can in fact pull it off tomorrow night, but it doesn't look like he's going to get the pole. It's still going to be a 7th place start for him, which is a great place to start regardless. But his teammate Logan Williams will be going for the pole here in just a moment, as Jack Haas, Isaac Nichols, and Logan Williams are in the Fast 6 here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Nicholas Sambadio will start 7th. Daniel Paulus Jr. will start 9th, and Paulus needs another good run. He needs to keep giving those good runs. He's good enough to make the top 10 at this point, but he's still 1 point out of the wild card. Haley Anderson Jr. will start 11th. Great start for her. Thomas Troxel will start 13th. Nathan Smith will start 15th. Brian Webb will start 17th. We didn't even talk about our points leader, Travis Crampton. Still 26 points up on the field. Going to be starting there in 19th. Laura Chung, who's 3rd in points, she's going to be starting there in 21st. Zayden Davidson will be 23rd. Bernardo de Oliveira will start 25th. Avery Alford will start 27th. Bryce Egan, who's tied for that cut line right now, 5 points ahead, he's going to be starting 29th. Philip Torres did get a lap in. He will start in the 31st position. Justin Zeidel will start 33rd. Nicholas Cameron will start 35th. Zachary Fitzwater will start 37th. Rogel Dorn will start 39th. And Christian Master will start in the last row. Let's get on to Group B, see who joins Logan Williams, Isaac Nichols, and Jack Haas for the Fast 6 here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. And here we go for Group B from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. We just saw Logan Williams, Isaac Nichols, and Jack Haas advance their way onto the Fast 6. And all those drivers have chase aspirations. Like Logan Williams didn't even mention he's 5th in the standings, but he's 77 points behind Travis Crampton. You got Travis Crampton, you got Ludovic Charette, maybe Laura Chung, and then everybody else. With that being said, we got to give so much credit to Alex Sanventali in that 61. He is out-driving that car, especially when you consider that his teammate Christian Master is all the way down 29th in the standings. Sanventali has just quietly gotten himself in a position where if he doesn't make the chase, that's a pretty bad downfall right there, because he currently has 31 points on the cutoff, which is not a bad gap at this point. And if he keeps on getting these top 15 finishes, I think he's going to be pretty safe into that chase. We'll see how that ends up working out for him. Remember what Ludovic Charette did in that car 2 years ago, and what that ended up landing her in, and, well, the rest is history. We'll see how this session goes. Of course, we got Blaine Keys here. This is definitely a race that I can see Blaine Keys winning. This car won this race 2 years ago. Blaine has yet to go to victory lane this season in the Wawa Cup Series, but so has our defending champion of Ludovic Charette, so we'll just have to see what they can do as this race goes along. But as we mentioned, Pacific Racing, we saw how strong their uncharted driver was. Blaine, we know, is a very good driver, but he can't be stuck behind somebody trying to get his good laps in. And that's the thing about these group sessions. You got to make sure it's a Grattan car getting in the way of Blaine Keys. Alexander Rowe, he knows what to do. It's funny how this all works out. Y'all are going to want to watch NR250 qualifying. We've already recorded it. It's fun. Let's just put it that way. That's all I'm allowed to legally say about that. Kirsten Bell. We have not talked too much about Kirsten Bell this season. She's kind of been just there. She's been up there, but not too much in the mix for these wins, per se. Only 3 top 5s, but 8 top 10s. She's second in the field, tied with Laura Chung for the most top 10s. Of course, Travis Crampton has the most top 10s at 10. But Kirsten has not had as good of a season as she did last year, but she just put down a pretty fast lap right there. Her teammate Jack Haas is in the Fast 6 right now. Matthew Hubert is in the Fast 6 right now. Roberto Crown Jr. is in the Fast 6 right now. Well, he was in the Fast 6 for a split second, and Andrew Miller had other ideas, and Andrew Miller's another guy. Andrew Miller and Daniel Paulus Jr., I feel like, and even Jack Haas, all of those guys who are currently right around that wildcard bubble could all easily go top 10 in points by the end of this season. This could actually be, this could possibly be another win for Andrew Miller tomorrow night. I feel like this is a track that might suit what this team has built themselves for. We'll see if that ends up being the case. How about Duncan Ward? And I can't count out Duncan Ward because he's on the bubble of that wildcard race as well. He's trying to keep a top 10 there for Team Williams. Well, here he is, third right now, and Ludovic Charette has just gone to second, trying to get her second straight pole. She got the pole last week at Kansas, and she's trying for her first win of the season here in the Wawa Cup Series. Will she finally get it? This is not necessarily the track we see Ludovic have a lot of success at. She was very good. She is very good on the road courses and very good on the speedways. The short tracks have not necessarily been the strength for Ludovic, though. You know, all these guys, Blaine Keys won on many different road courses, many different courses last year when he went on a streak of 6 wins, and we'll see what Ludovic can do if she can get this thing top 6 and have a shot at the pole here once again in the Brandt 400. We'll see if she has a shot at the thumbnail again. She's been on the thumbnail 3 times this year, 3 times in the past 6 weeks. And we randomized that in a list randomizer, and she's gone top of the board in that thumbnail pick for the qualifying 3 times already. Drew Webb got 2 of them, I think. Yeah, so Brandt Autosport's been on the thumbnail like 5 of the past 6 weeks for qualifying. We'll see. We'll see what y'all saw here today. I do that after we record all this. Kirsten Bell's still there in second now as Ludovic Charette goes top of the board. That is the fastest time I think we have seen so far tonight. And no, it isn't. Logan Williams was a 4.22, not a 4.63. You're going to be hearing a lot of numbers from us over the weekend. Blaine Keys, I thought he was going to do much better than that. That's 15th for Blaine Keys right now. And at this point in the season, you can't keep doing that. There's just something missing on this team, something missing with this driver, and maybe it was because he got held up by Alexander Rowe right there, but that's a tough place. 30th starting position, that's a tough place to rebound from on a track like this. Yeah, oh boy. And Tanner Parton as well is another guy who is up there 6th in points. Dead last right now in the 97 machine. I don't think anyone blew up here, though. So that's good news there, but I tell you, it's going to be really, really interesting to see how it ends up shaking out in this race with guys like Tanner Parton and Blaine Keys starting as far as they are, and then you got guys chomping at the bit like Avery Alford, Kirsten Bell, Jack Haas, Andrew Miller, Daniel Paulus Jr. All those guys are going to be starting ahead of them in this race, especially Haas and Paulus and Miller are all going to be starting top 12. Kirsten's going to be starting top 12 as well. If you're Tanner Parton, Blaine Keys, you know you can't be having moments like this late in the regular season. But Ludovic Charette is doing what she needs to do, and she has realistically been one of the most consistent drivers of the season, and she's going for a second pole here. Duncan Ward, Kirsten Bell all make the Fast 6. Braden Perez will start 8th. Matthew Hubert will start 10th. Andrew Miller will start 12th. Bruno Diacomo will start 14th. Angel Gutierrez will start 16th. Roberto Crown Jr. will start 18th. Trey Bartow will start 20th. LJ Semeta will start 22nd. Alexander Rowe will start 24th. Leonard Kochmer will start 26th. Darian Arnsdorf will start 28th. Blaine Keys will start 30th in this race. That is bad. That is not good for that team, especially considering the uncharted car on that team is going to be starting inside the top 15. Jared Martin will start 32nd. Brad Stover will start 34th. Alex Sanvitale will start 36th. Jesse Turner will start 38th. Drew Webb will start 40th. Tanner Parton is going to start in the 42nd position. He did not get going. And Parton slipped up a little bit the past couple of races, especially in comparison to his teammate, what he's been able to do. I don't know. Not feeling too good about Tanner Parton. But still, 8 races left to go, including tomorrow night. Before we get to that cutoff, it's going to be one heck of a fight to the finish here in this Wawa Cup Series chase. Ladovic Charette, Duncan Ward, Kirsten Bell join Logan Williams. Who else was it? Logan Williams, Isaac Nichols, and Jack Haas in the Fast 6. Let's get down to it here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway for the Fast 6 and the pole and the Brandt 400. Here we go, first driver in line. It's Kirsten Bell in 93 for Evans Ross Racing. As I mentioned, the driver really haven't talked about too much in terms of moving up in these races, but she's going to have a shot tomorrow night, especially if she gets a good starting position. And track position still means a lot, even though we have that high tire wear and a lot of tire strategy. This is still a short track, and you still want to have a good starting position for tomorrow night's race. Going to minimize 99 there through turns 1 and 2. And as something that you will see in Indy 250 qualifying this weekend, this corner speed means a lot. 94 as a minimum in turns 3 and 4. Keep in mind, we're on a hill. This is not a level racetrack. 19.876 for Kirsten Bell, and that's the benchmark here in the Fast 6, the Brandt 400 qualifying. Jack Haas in the number 39, the teammate to Kirsten Bell, and a driver who is right there in the same position as Kirsten in terms of this championship. Does have that win at Phoenix, though, and tends to have a lot of success on these short tracks. His first win in the Wawa Cup Series came at Martinsville last year. We'll see what he can do here on his lap. Number 39 machine to Jack Haas. Trying to make it into the chase, trying to get top 10 in points. I think that's the ultimate goal. A little bit slower than Kirsten there in turns 1 and 2. We'll see if he picks that speed up going into 3 and 4 right here. A little bit faster in 3 and 4 than Kirsten Bell. So this is going to be right there around that same time that Kirsten had. Across the line, it's going to be 7.88. He's going to go to the top of the board right here in Brandt 400 qualifying. And it's Duncan Ward time. Will he be dunked on the night? Will he get his 4th pole of the season? Got to beat a 19.788 at this moment. That was just set by Jack Haas in the number 39. And Duncan Ward, another one of these guys that's right there on the line. 10th in points. Technically, he's 8th in points because he has the tiebreaker on Blake Keys and Bryce Egan for winning the race. So he does actually have that on those guys. Hit 97 in 1 and 2. But 3 and 4, we'll see what he can do in this 23 machine. And they're going to hit 94 right there. This is going to be a bit on the slower end, unfortunately. I don't think it's going to be a pole for Duncan Ward. Going to go 19.903. That's 3rd of 3 so far here in the Fast 6 at North Wilkesboro. Isaac Nichols. Had him in the booth the other day, which is awesome to see. At the Light Series race in Memphis. I don't want to say a similar track to this one. I think they're quite different, but they're both short tracks. See if he learned anything for being in the booth for that race. Isaac Nichols there in the number 6 for Parker Davis Enterprises. Top 10 in points. Trying to make this chase on points alone, and I think that's definitely a big thing if you can do it. Have the opportunity of getting those bonus points for your wins and all that. The wild cards do not get any bonus points. They start with 2,000 even going into the chase as wild cards. I don't think Isaac is going to have enough of a good enough lap here to get to Jack Haas across the line. It's going to be 20.033. Yikes, that's the slowest so far for drivers. And Evans Ross Racing looking to lock the front row. They got a good shot at doing so. But Ladovic Charette is next. We'll see what she can do in the 51. And here is our defending champion, still winless in the year 2025. In the big 2025. That's it's kind of something to think about that she hasn't gone to victory lane in any race yet this season. In anything on the channel. Pro Series, this series, she can't run in the Sprint Series. She's been in the booth for a lot of the Sprint Series races. Ladovic Charette across the line right here to start her fast lap. Needs to beat a 19.788. And she's going to have a chance right here. But Evans Ross Racing holding on to this front row right now. And we will have to see if Ladovic Charette can split that up. Going to go 95 as a minimum. This is a solid lap, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough for the pole across the line. 8.63. That's going to split up Jack Haas and Kirsten Bell from the front row, but the 39 still has the fastest time. It's either going to be Jack Haas or Logan Williams on the front row, on the pole, I should say, for this Brandt 400. And here we go. Logan Williams in the 95 is the last driver here in this Fast 6. Needs to be the 19.788 for the pole, set by Jack Haas in the number 39. I believe that that'll be Jack's first pole if he can get it here. We'll see what Logan Williams can do in the... Yeah, that's it. Jack Haas has won the pole. That was not a good entry at all for Logan Williams in the turn number 1. Going to have a little bit more speed, but not quite there. He's still going to have a good starting position, but Jack Haas is going to be your pole sitter for the Brandt 400. And it's going to be 5th for Logan Williams, so both the Appalachia cars going to be on that inside lane. Jack Haas wins the pole, though, for the Brandt 400 at North Wilkesboro. And that does it here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Jack Haas wins the pole. That is his first pole of 2025 in the Wawa Cup Series. You want to know something, too? Only 2 drivers have won multiple poles so far this season. That is Lord Chung and Duncan Ward. And they have only duplicated. There have been 3 times where we have had a multi-time pole winner in 15 races so far. Just keep in mind what happened last year in the Truck Series. That was not the case when Blaine Hughes was winning every single pole. Even the poles have been very diverse and a lot of parity in qualifying, and that has made it very fascinating this season, just as it has been in the race wins. 13 winners in 15 races. Will that continue? Well, we got ourselves 2 drivers starting inside lane, Kirsten Bell, Logan Williams, who have yet to go to victory lane this season. But, and actually, as a matter of fact, Ludovic Charette, Ludovic Charette is just that good that I automatically thought she had won a race. Subconsciously thought she had won a race yet this year. She hasn't. She's outside pole alongside Jack Haas in row 1. Kirsten Bell, Duncan Ward in row 2. Logan Williams and Isaac Nichols in row 3. Row number 4 sees Nicholas Samidio and Braden Perez. Row 5, Daniel Paulus Jr. and Matthew Hubert. Velocity sharing that last row in the top 10. Haley Anderson Jr. starts 11th alongside Andrew Miller. We got Thomas Troxel and Bruno Diacomo in row 7. Nathan Smith and Angel Gutierrez in row 8. Brian Webb, Roberto Crown Jr. in row 9. Travis Crampton and Trey Bartow in row 10. Laura Chung and LJ Semedo in row 11. Zayden Davidson and Alexander Rowe in row 12. Bernardo de Oliveira and Leonard Kochmer in row 13. Avery Alford and Darian Arnsdorf in row 14. Bryce Egan, Blaine Keys all the way back in 30th in row 15. Philip Torres and Jared Martin in row 16. Justin Zeidel, Brad Stover in row 17, Nicholas Cameron and Alex Sanvitali in row 18, Zachary Fitzwater, Jesse Turner in row 19, Rogel Dorn, Drew Webb in row 20, Christian Master, Tanner Parton round out the entire 42-car starting grid here from the Brandt 400 at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Jack Haas is going to get win number 2 on the season, looking to bump his way top 10 in the points. But you also got Kirsten Bell looking for her first win of the season. Logan Williams looking for his first win of the season. Ludovic Charette looking for her first win of the season. All starting top 6. Nicholas Samidio 7th, also looking for his first win of the season. Will we get number 14 tomorrow night? That's the big question. And we'll see. I'm sorry, we've had 12 and 14. My apologies. We've had 12 winners in 14 races. This is race 15. So will we get number 13 tomorrow night? That's the big question. You will find out at 8 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, right here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway in the Brandt 400. 6 p.m. tomorrow, we get the main practice session in the Indianapolis 250. That sets the qualifying order for Saturday's main qualifying day. Everyone goes single car run, and Indy 250 Fast 9 last night on Sunday. Going to be a lot of fun as Indy 250 week continues. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you guys later.